Hi, Crossroads. Pastor Cesar here, and I want to do another Q&A with you. This one is specifically on what will happen after the vote. Okay, so our vote is October 16th, and what will happen after October 16th. Okay, and there's really two scenarios that I want to touch upon. Right, if the church votes to disaffiliate, or if the church does not vote to disaffiliate, right? If it doesn't, if the disaffiliation doesn't happen. So if the church does not receive a 2/3 vote to disaffiliate, that means the church will remain in the United Methodist Church. And what does this mean? First, it means that we will continue to be a United Methodist congregation. It means that, we will continue to operate the same way that we've always operated, right? Up until now, we will continue to follow the United Methodist Church's discipline. We will continue to, do ministry. We'll continue to do, the things that we always do. The discipline does not change. It won't have an opportunity to change until in 2024 when General Conference will meet. So we will still be under the discipline as it is now, and I plan to uphold that discipline, right? And so it's important for you to know that until the discipline changes to something else, right? To something different. There will be some changes at the district and the conference level. Mostly because there are churches who will disaffiliate, and there have been already some churches who have voted to disaffiliate. So the landscape of the conference and of the districts will have to change. What all those changes will be, we aren't certain. We are more than likely going to have to go from 9 districts to less amount of districts, depending on how many churches choose to disaffiliate from the United Methodist Church. Because the districts won't, be able to, the apportionments won't be there to be able to uphold that many districts. I'm sure that there are going to be some changes financially for the conference. Now, at our last annual conference, they said that in the short term, the church would be able to absorb any loss. But obviously, that won't happen for the long run. There will have to be some changes at the conference level as well in order to accommodate, any loss in finances that happen. And so there will be some changes as far as the conference and the district levels. What all those will be, we're not really 100% sure yet. But I want you to know that a vote to stay will just we'll continue the way that we have been going up until the discipline officially changes. That, at least under my leadership here. Now, there will be a change in bishop, and there may be a change in pastor depending on appointments, correct? And so as an ordained minister, now the bishop can ask me to go pastor another church. And so appointments are done on a year-by-year basis. And so if a different pastor comes here and if the bishop permits it, there may be changes sooner than later. And so honestly, that will be something that will have to be seen year by year up until the discipline is actually changed. Now, I want to talk about the scenario on if the church decides to disaffiliate. So, if the church decides to disaffiliate, the two options for that is to be independent or to go be part of perhaps the Global Methodist Church. Both scenarios will be a little bit different, right? If we choose to go be part of the Global Methodist Church, if the church affiliates with the Global Methodist Church, then it will have to make some changes to its bylaws. It will have to make some changes to some legal changes will have to be made in order for that to be possible. The church will have to, really just go through a process of affiliation, which is set out already before us. and then organize ourselves according to the Global Methodist Church. Now, our church board remains the same, our leadership remains the same. There will be no changes in that. The ministries that we do will remain the same. The who the church is will remain the same. We will remain being Crossroads, the same loving, welcoming church that you love, the family that you are part of. So that will remain the same. Signages will have to change, and we'll have to be part of a denomination that is beginning, and so we'll have to be highly active in understanding and knowing what's going on at the denominational level, so that we can have our voice heard and we can participate in the process of creating this, forming this new denomination. And so, if we go the independent route, well, a lot of the same legal changes need to be made to bylaws and to things like that, but there will be the church will have to, in essence, create its own polity. Now, the board will remain the same, leadership will remain the same, but we will perhaps need to create for ourselves basically a rule book, right, on how we are going to operate, how we are going to run. What are going to be our doctrines, our official doctrines, what will be our official, way of resolving conflicts and disagreements. So there will be a whole lot of work to be put into how our church is going to organize and follow and be able to work together, right, as under a polity for our specific church. Going to the Global Methodist Church, that's already there in their transitional book of discipline. So that's why I want to mention that, because I didn't mention that earlier. And so, of course, signage changes will have to be under both scenarios of disaffiliation. Well, we will not be able to promote the UMC at all. So that means that, if our sign outside says Crossroads United Methodist Church, well, that United Methodist Church will need to have to change. That doesn't mean that we have to get rid of the hymnals. I know that question has been asked. No, we own the hymnals. We can use the hymnals. We've used other hymnals like the Cokesbury hymnal before too. That's not a problem, right? And anything that's kind of in-house that may have the UMC logo, well, that doesn't need to change immediately. Only the things that are for kind of advertising. We can't use the cross and flames anymore, the logo of the United Methodist Church. But again, there will be some changes. Going independent will simply mean that we'll have to recreate everything specifically for our church ourselves. And so I just want to kind of lay out those different scenarios for you on what will happen after the vote on October 16th. For the most part, in both areas, I want you to know Crossroads remains Crossroads. There will be some changes. There will be some things that are different, on both sides, staying or disaffiliating, right? And how those things will play out, we won't know until we're in them. And so we need to be in prayer. We need to be fervently praying for the future of our church, and praying for what it is that the Lord is leading us to do. And so again, I just wanted to bring that out. You have a blessed day.